do with the Christian God or the Christian devil? Last week, but I tried to find out. Anyway, 1 to 8. 2 and 3 are even and odd. 2 and 3 are 5. Therefore, 5 is both even and odd. The damn book, by the way, provides no solutions to the paradoxes. I could sense the fallacy in that one right away, but it took me hours and a headache before I could state it in precise words. Hope this helps you. Anyway, for me, it was relief from the really frightening stuff I've been tracking down lately. Pat. There were 2 further memos in the box, on different stationaries and by different typewriters. The first was brief. April the 4th, Research Department. I'm seriously concerned about Pat's absence from the office and the fact that she doesn't answer the phone when we call her. Would you send somebody to her apartment to talk to the landlord and try to find out what has happened to her? Joe Malik, editor. The last memo was the oldest in the lot and already yellowing at the edges. It said, "Dear Mr. Mallory, the information and books you requested are enclosed at length. In case you were rushed, here is a quick summary. 1. Billy Graham was in Australia, making public appearances all through last week. There is no way he could have gotten to Chicago. 2. Satanism and witchcraft both still exist in the modern world. The two are often confused by Orthodox Christian writers. But objective observers agree that there is a difference. Satanism is a Christian heresy, the ultimate heresy, one might say, but witchcraft is pre-Christian in origin and has nothing to do with the Christian God or the Christian devil. The witches worship a goddess called Dana or Tana, who goes back to the Stone Age, probably. 3. The John Dillinger Died For You Society has its headquarters in Mad Dog, Texas, but was founded in Austin, Texas, several years ago. It's some kind of poker-faced joke and is affiliated with the Bavarian Illuminati. The University of California. The Illuminati pretend to be a cabal of conspirators who run the whole world behind the scenes. If you suspect either of these groups of being involved in something sinister, you've probably just fallen for one of their put-ons. W.H.
So this thing was already linked to Mad Dog several years ago,
Saul said thoughtfully.
And Malik was already assuming an alternative identity, since the letter is obviously addressed to him. And also, as I've begun to suspect as we read this stuff, the Illuminati have their own brand of humor.
Deduce me one more deduction,
Barney said.
Who the hell is this W.H.?
People have been asking that for 300 years,
Saul said absently.
Huh?
I'm being whimsical. Shakespeare's sonnets are dedicated to a Mr. W.H., but I don't think we have to worry that this is the same one. This case is as nutty as a squirrel's dinner. But I don't really think it's that nutty.
He added,
We can be grateful for one thing at least. The Illuminati doesn't really run the world. They're just trying.
Barney frowned, perplexed.
How do you make that one?
Simple. The same way I know they're a right-wing organization, not left-wing.
We're not all geniuses,
Barney said.
Take it a step at a time, will ya?
How many contradictions did you spot in these memos? I counted 13. This researcher, Pat, saw it too. The evidence is deliberately warped and twisted. All of it. Not just the East Village other chart. Is a mixture of fact and fiction.
Saul lit his pipe and settled back in his chair. In 1921, reading Arthur Conan Doyle, he first began playing these scenes in imagination.
In the first place, either the Illuminati want publicity or they don't. If if they control everything, they want publicity. They'd be on billboards more often than Coca-Cola and on TV more often than Lucille Ball. On the other hand, if they control everything and don't want publicity, none of these magazines and books would have survived. They would have disappeared from libraries, bookstores, and publishers' warehouses. This researcher, Pat, never would have found them. In the second place, if you want to recruit people into a conspiracy, besides idealism and whatever other noble motives you might exploit in them, you would always exploit hope. You would exaggerate the size and the power of the conspiracy because most people want to join the winning side. Therefore, all assertions about the actual strength of the Illuminati should be regarded a fortiori, a suspect, like the voters' polls released by candidates before elections. Finally, it always pays to frighten the opposition. Therefore, a conspiracy will exhibit the same behavior that ethnologists have observed in animals under attack. It will puff itself up and try to look bigger. In short, potential or actual recruits and potential and actual enemies will both be given the same false impression that the Illuminati is twice or 10 times or 100 times its actual size. This is logical, but my first point was empirical. The memos do exist, and therefore logic and empiricism confirm each other. The Illuminati are not able to control everything. What then? They've been around a long time, and they're as tireless as the Russian mathematician who worked out pi to the 1,000th place. The probability, then, is that they control some things and influence a hell of a lot more. This probability increases as you think back over the memos. The two chief Arabic branches, the Hashishim and the Roshaniya, they were both wiped out. The Italian Illuminati were crushed in 1507. Weishaupt was suppressed by the Bavarian government in 1785, and so forth. If they were behind the French Revolution, they influenced rather than controlled, because Napoleon undid everything the Jacobins started. That they had a hand in both Soviet communism and German fascism is plausible, considering the many similarities between the two. But if they controlled both, why did the two take opposite sides in the Second World War? And if they ran both the Federalist Party through Washington and the Democratic Republicans through Jefferson, what was the purpose of Aaron Burr counter-revolution, which they are also supposed to be behind? The picture I get, he's not a grandfather master moving everybody on invisible strings, but some sort of million-armed octopus. A millipus, let's call it. Constantly reaching out tentacles and often drawing back nothing but a bloody stump, crying, foiled again. But the millipus is very busy and quite resourceful. If it controlled the planet, it could choose either operating in the open or retaining secrecy. But since it doesn't have that omnipotence yet, it must choose to be as anonymous as possible. Therefore, many of its tentacles will be probing around in the areas of publication and communication. It must know when somebody is investigating it or getting ready to publicize an investigation he's already completed. Finding such a person, it then has two choices: kill him or neutralize him. Killing will be resorted to in certain emergencies, but will be avoided where possible. You never know when a person of that sort has stashed extra copies of his documents in various unexpected places to be released in the event of his death. Neutralization is best, almost always. So tours
to relaunch his pipe. Muldoon thought the most unrealistic aspect of Doyle's stories is Watson's admiration of these moments. I'm just irritated because he makes me feel like a chump for not seeing it myself. Go ahead, he said gruffly, saving his own deductions until Saul was finished.
The best form of neutralization is recruitment, of course. But any crude and hurried effort of recruitment is known as taking your pants down in the espionage business because it makes you more vulnerable. The safest approach is disguise, of course, is the pretense of helping the subject in his investigation. There's also always the second and preferable option, which is leading him on a wild goose chase, sending him looking for Illuminati in organizations which they have never really infiltrated, feeding him bomb attacks like that stuff about the Illuminati come from the planet Vulcan being descended from Eve and the serpent. Best of all, they're telling him if the story you sell him is in keeping with his own ideals. This is the shade over at the recruitment. Now, the sources this bad unearthed mostly seem to come to one of two conclusions. The Illuminati doesn't exist anymore, or the Illuminati is virtually identical with Russian communism. The first I reject, because Malik and Pat have both disappeared, and two buildings, one here in New York and one way down in Mad Dog, have been bombed in a series palpably linked with an investigation of the Illuminati. You've already accepted that, but the next step is just as obvious. If the Illuminati tries to distort whatever publicity cannot be avoided, then we should look at the idea that the Illuminati is communist-orientated as skeptically as we look at the idea that they don't even exist. So, let's look at the opposite hypothesis. Could the Illuminati be a far-right or fascist group? Well, if Malik's information was in any way accurate, they seem to have some kind of special headquarters or central office in Mad Dog, and that's Ku Klux and God's Lightning territory. Also, whatever their history before Adam Weishaupt, they seem to have gone through some reformation and revitalization under his leadership. He was a German and an ex-Catholic, just like Hitler. One of his illuminated lodges survived long enough to recruit Hitler in 1923, according to a memo that might be the most accurate one in the lot, for all we know. Considering the proclivities of the German character, Weishaupt could likely be an anti-Semite. Most historians I've read on Nazi Germany agree to at least the possibility that there was a secret doctrine which only the top Nazis shared among themselves and didn't tell the rest of the party. That doctrine might be pure Illuminism. Take up the many doctrine links between Illuminism and Freemasonry, and the known anti-Catholicism of the Masonic League. Add in the fact that ex-Catholics are frequently bitter against the Church, and both Weishaupt and Hitler were ex-Catholics, and we get a hypothetical anti-Jewish, anti-Catholic, semi-mystical doctrine that we sell equally well in Germany and in parts of America. Finally, while some left extremists might want to kill the Kennedys and Reverend King, all three were more likely targets for right-wingers, and the Kennedys would be especially abhorrent to anti-Catholic writers. A last point, so said. Consider the left-wing orientation of confrontation. The editor, Malik, would probably not give much credence to most of the sources quoted in the memos, since the majority are from rightist publications, and most of them allege that the Illuminati is a leftist plot. His most probable reaction will be to dismiss this as another right-wing paranoia, unless he had other sources besides his own research department. Notice how cagey he is. He doesn't tell his associate editor, Peter Jackson, anything about the Illuminati itself, just that he wants a new investigation of the last decade's assassinations. The bottom memo is so old and yellow, it suggests he got his first clue several years ago, but didn't act. Pat asks him why he's hiding all this from the reporter, George Dorn. Finally, he disappears. He was getting information from someplace else, and it revealed a plot he could believe in and finally fear. That would probably be a fascist plot, anti-Catholic, anti-Jewish, and anti-Negro.
Muldoon?
never cease to amaze me, Saul. Would you glance at this, though, and tell me how it fits in?
He handed over a piece of paper.
I found it in a book on Malik's bedside table.
The paper was a brief scrawl in the same handwriting as the occasional jottings on the bottoms of Pat's memos. Prez Garfield, killed by Charles Guiteau, a Roman Catholic. Prez McKinley, ditto by Leon Czolgosz, a Roman Catholic. Prez Theodore Roosevelt, attempted assassination by John Schrank, a Roman Catholic. Prez Franklin Roosevelt, attempted assassination by Giuseppe Zangara, a Roman Catholic. President Harry Truman, attempted assassination by Griselio Torrisola and Oscar Colacho, two Roman Catholics. Prez Woodrow Wilson, somewhat mysterious death while tended by a Roman Catholic nurse. Prez Warren Harding, another mysterious death. One rumour, it was suicide, also attended by a Catholic nurse. Prez John Kennedy, assassination inadequately explained. Head of CIA then was John McCone, a Roman Catholic, who helped write the inconclusive and contradictory Warren Report. House of Representatives, March the 1st, 1964. 5 congressmen wounded by Lebron Miranda Cordero Rodriguez assassination squad, all Roman Catholics. When Saul looked up, Barney said pleasantly,
I found it in a book, like I said. The book was Rome's responsibility for the assassination of Abraham Lincoln by General Thomas M. Harris. Harris points out that John Wilkes Booth, the Surratt family, and all the other conspirators were Catholics, and argues they are acting under orders from the Jesuits.
Barney paused to enjoy Saul's expression and went on.
It occurs to me that, using your principle that most of the memos are full of false leads, we might question the idea that the Illuminati uses the Masons as a front to gather recruits. They would probably need some similar organization, though. One that exists all over the world. Has mysterious rites and secrets, inner orders to which a select few are recruited, and a pyramidal authoritarian structure compelling everybody to take commands from above whether they understand them or not. One such organization is the Roman Catholic Church.
Saul picked up his pipe from the floor. He didn't seem to remember having dropped it.
My turn to say brilliant,
he murmured finally.
Are you gonna stop going to Mass on Sunday? Do you really believe it?
Muldoon laughed.
After 20 years,
he said,
I finally did it. I got one jump ahead of you, Saul. You were standing face to face with the truth, eyeball to eyeball, nose to nose, mouth to mouth, but you were so close that your eyes crossed and you saw it backward. No, it's not the Catholic Church. You made a good guess in saying it was anti-Catholic as well as anti-Jewish and anti-Negro. But it's inside the Catholic Church and always has been. In fact, the Church's efforts to root it out have given Holy Mother Rome a very unfortunate reputation for paranoia and hysteria. Its agents make a special effort to enter the priesthood in order to obtain holy objects for use in their own bizarre rites. They also try to rise as high in the church as they can to destroy it from within. Many times they've recruited and corrupted whole parishes, whole orders of clergy, even whole provinces. They probably got the Weishaupt when he was still a Jesuit. They've infiltrated that order several times in history, and the Dominicans even more. If caught in criminal acts, they make sure that their covert Catholicism and not their true faith is publicized, just like this list of assassins. Their god is called the Light Bearer, and that's probably where the word illumination comes from. And Malik asked about him a long time ago and was told by this W.H., quite correctly, that they still exist. I'm talking about the Satanists, of course.
Of course,
Saul repeated softly.
of course. that pentagon that keeps popping up? It's in the middle of the pentacle for summoning the devil. Fascism is their only political facet. Basically, they're a theology, or an anti-theology, I guess. But what in hell, literally in hell, is their ultimate objective then? Don't ask me.
Barney shrugged.
I can follow my brother when he talks about the history of Satanism, but not when he tries to explain its motivations. He uses technical, theological terms about immanentizing the eschaton. But all I can understand is that it has something to do with bringing on the end of the world.
Saul turned ashen.
Barney,
He cried.
my God. Fernando Poo.
But that was settled.
That's just it. The usual technique of the false front. The real threat is coming from somewhere else, and they mean to do it this time.
Muldoon shook his head.
But they must be crazy.
Everybody's crazy.
Saul said patiently.
If you don't understand.
A note from the chef. Don't get me wrong, I love the restaurant business. Hell, I'm still in the restaurant business, a lifetime classically trained chef who an hour from now will probably be roasting bones for demi-glace and butchering beef tenderloins in a cellar prep kitchen on Lower Park Avenue. I'm not spilling my guts about everything I've seen, learned, and done in my long and checkered career as dishwasher, prep grown, fry cook, riardin, saucier, sous chef, and chef, because I'm angry at the business, or because I want to horrify the dining public. I'd still like to be a chef, too, when this thing comes out. But this life is the only life I really know. If I need a favor at 4 o'clock in the morning, whether it's a quick loan, a shoulder to cry on, a sleeping pill, bail money, just someone to pick me up in a car in a bad neighborhood in the driving rain, I'm definitely not calling up a fellow writer. I'm calling my sous chef, or a former sous chef, or my saucier, someone I work with or have worked with over the last 20 plus years. Now, I want to tell you about the dark recesses of the restaurant underbelly, a subculture whose centuries-old militaristic hierarchy and ethos of rum, buggery, and the lash make for a mix of unwavering order and nerve-shattering chaos, because I find it all quite comfortable, like a nice warm bath. I can move around easily in this life. I speak the language. In the small, incestuous community of chefs and cooks in New York City, I know the people, and in my kitchen I know how to behave, as opposed to in real life where I'm on shakier ground. I want the professionals who read this to enjoy it for what it is, a straight look at a life many of us have lived and breathed for most of our days and nights to the exclusion of normal social interaction. Never having had a Friday or Saturday night off, always working holidays, being busiest when the rest of the world is just getting out of work, makes for a somewhat peculiar worldview, which I hope my fellow chefs and cooks will recognize. The restaurant lifers who read this may or may not like what I'm doing, but they'll know I'm not lying. I want the readers to get a glimpse of the true joys of making really good food at a professional level. I'd like them to understand what it feels like to attain a child's dream of running one's own pirate crew, what it feels like, looks like, and smells like in the clatter and hiss of a big city restaurant kitchen. And I'd like to convey, as best I can, the strange delights of the language, patois, and death's head sense of humor found on the front lines. I'd like civilians who read this to get a sense, at least, that this life, in spite of everything, can be fun. As for me, I've always liked to think of myself as the Chuck Wepner of cooking. Chuck was a journeyman contender, referred to as the Bayonne bleeder back in the Ali Frazier era. He could always be counted on to last a few solid rounds without going down, giving as good as he got. I admired his resilience, his steadiness, his ability to get it together, and take a beating like a man. So it's not super chef talking to you here. Sure, I graduated CIA, knocked around Europe, worked some famous 2-star joints in the city, damn good ones too. I'm not some embittered hash slinger out to slag off my more successful peers, though I will when the opportunity presents itself. I'm usually the guy they call in to some high-profile operation when the first chef turns out to be a psychopath or a mean megalomaniacal drunk. This book is about street-level cooking and its practitioners. Line cooks are the heroes. I've been hustling a nicely paid living out of this life for a long time, most of it in the heart of Manhattan, the Bigs. So I know a few things. I've still got a few moves left in me. Of course, there's every possibility this book could finish me in the business. There will be horror stories. Heavy drinking, drugs, screwing in the dry goods area, unappetizing revelations about bad food handling and unsavory industry-wide practices. Talking about why you probably shouldn't order fish on a Monday, why those who favor well done get the scrapings from the bottom of the barrel, and why seafood frittata is not a wise French selection. It won't make me any more popular with potential future employers. My naked contempt for vegetarians, sauce on ciders, the lactose intolerant, and the cooking of the Ewok-like Emeril Lagasse is not going to get me my own show on the Food Network. I don't think I'll be going on ski weekends with Andre Soltner anytime soon, or getting a back rub from that hunky Bobby Flay. Eric Repair won't be calling me for ideas on tomorrow's fish special. But I'm simply not going to deceive anybody about the life as I've seen it. It's all here. The good, the bad, and the ugly. The interested reader might, on one hand, find out how to make professional-looking and tasting plates with a few handy tools, and on the other hand, decide never to order the moule marinière again. Tant pis, man. For me, the cooking life has been a long love affair. Moments both sublime and ridiculous. Like a love affair, looking back, you remember the happy times best. The things that drew you in, attracted you in the first place. The things that kept you coming back for more. I hope I can give the reader a taste of those things and those times. I've never regretted the unexpected left turn that dropped me in the restaurant business. And I've long believed that good food, good eating is all about risk. Whether we're talking about unpasteurized Stilton, raw oysters, or working for organized crime associates.
Like clockwork. Yeah. Well, let's maniac was ain't rest. Baby back, my brain ain't attached. You love me, it's a little late. My maniac was ain't rest. Baby back, my brain ain't attached. You love me, it's a little late. Baby, my brain ain't attached.
party in the pantalones. Just need to, sir, please stop screaming expletives. Okay.
Of the best.
Calm down. I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. Okay, we're gonna have to go get my SS detail. Yeah, Secret Service. What do you think I mean? Mint. What do you think I meant? My SS.
Coffee.
Yeah. Just because something is like the little building block people. Like you use this one to connect with that one, and then pretty soon you got triangles, and keep building on that, keep adding blocks, and eventually, if you're not paying attention, you start stacking in the wrong blocks.
We get people that can go and get extremely good at being overnight. Has the quality.
Oh, let's just say the wrong blocks are also the right blocks. Not Roblox or whatever the fuck that Discord game is. I don't know. I don't play it. I only play the Fruba. The Fruba. The French horn tuba. Fruba. Heard of it? No, neither did the other time tunnel dimension parallel reality to our reality. Surreal reality. Surreal reality. Boy, let me tell you.
Change your mind once the performance is completed. Seated in the back, too cool to throw your hands up. I never quite understood all of that. Was you too tough to have fun? Wrist at the door, so I know it ain't the gun in your waistline that got you shooting daggers in my face when I rhyme. Times are changing, it's strange. The motherfuckers ain't smiled at a rap show in a while. Call me since the Fresh Prince was in style. So it's apparent that you just don't understand the meanest mug in the club. Don't make your ass the man. Now if you wanna be a fan, then that's fine. But all I really wanna do is just break through to your mind and show you just because you did some good time. Don't make it impossible to have a good time when you out. See where I'm from, it's the hardest motherfuckers come to party. All shermed out. So what's this really all about? You jail? Cause this man's double L with hell. PSC tells me it's jealousy that grips the heart. Waste of time playing hardballs. When your ass is really just a heart, and I should never feel threat. Did you see that man behind me?
When night falls, I enter. Being of a higher breed than MC, I'll enter all these filthy rap crews. So wanna be fat fools. Could have been rap dudes. Repeating the system like 5187 new messages. Again and again, it's the legend. Lucky I am, oh black, and on everyone's tape. PSC, the best friend of chorus, the forest is used for you. You put your boyfriend, just give him a chance. Baby, baby, give him one more. He'll rap right, if not, check my mic all night. I rap tight. See me catching flights at the international terminal. Where you don't go, so don't go and get big rules. We'll get ripped, big trips by my chords and choke. First is a gift, a smooth talk. Walk the walk of the winner, fall from a beginner. Guess who's for dinner?
Cerebral tornadoes, rip logic, hydraulic and paperbacks. The tone is in complete extension. In all of the later tracks, extracting vitamins from machinery that creates it. As long as the people are feeding for the truth and not counterfeit. I'm a bounty sheriff, merit holder, winner of awards in the midst of clash of swords. It's match point on the court, appointed sport. Referee, the rest will see my yellow warning on the toilet seat. At least I have my dignity. Infinity, a legendary entity forever. A legendary flame of a character with no name. Same instance, persistence to have latitude. Cruising needs you a little, a life of limb. Whichever you choose, find the fun in him. Word 10 to catch a phrase that will amaze most from the gazing point. With a judgment standard, calibrating, chewing the tainted picture before he gets a chance to be painted. There's no blanket for the truth. I got a loose end of a lie. This amateur, he tries to get by. Besides, you know greater, and equating more immense sense. It makes more sense to make some sense. Or maybe you know, I think weak ass rhymes you wrote, but you stay afloat in this dense body of mockery.
Like lightning, light up the sky, fighting tight. Copyright history, right? Transcend debate on your mind every time we in the stage. When it's fame.
it not already correct? No?
Let's get literal, it's me and my team. I got a dream and a clean way to achieve it. I conceived it myself with a little bit of help from my friends. Made amends with my soul, now I'm ready to begin. First ingredient is dope shit, fool we already want it. Mix that with the motives, now I'm forming perfect batter. Had a vision, it would burn. If I measure too precisely, I add a pinch here and there. If the spice be right, we might prepare this feast for many thousands. So eat when you're aroused and enjoy. Legendary dish.
Come here, Mario! Come here! Come here, whore! Who's the goddamn whole thing now, huh? Fire retardant.
Wow, we're gonna copy back the world.
That's not cheese. Cheese melts. It doesn't retain shape, composure, and composition.
All kinds of different cultures and
sizzles a little bit. It melts and it turns into a liquid gold of sorts. To some people, people with big taste buds. Music and glass, carrots, or whatever. Apologies to things like those. Do I love cheese?
kiss to my mom and my dad. You know the way I love you. When things start to get heavy, I put nothing else above you, cause I see it in your eyes. Catch me out my scheming. Pockets empty, still you gave me something to believe in. And you got me. And see the bow, see that do that I put my bets on you. Hey, I put my bets on you. And you got me. You got me feeling so good. I put my bets on you. Got me feeling so. Got me feeling so good. I put my
we like to, you know, test MCs, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of cats. You see
Okay.
me looking at me and Tech both looking, because we ain't really done this. You know, I've seen you. I know, I've definitely seen your work, but we haven't done this.
Yeah.
You know, that's why we looking at y'all like,
Well, I got this trick where I can rhyme and do a head spin at the same time right on the table. So if you guys are ready
Not on
for
this
that.
table, bro. Let's just stay here.
Yo, Corey, let's go Tech. Let's test this, man.
Hey, Corey, we got a beat here, man.
Yeah. Okay, I'm feeling
Yeah.
this.
feeling
idea. You ready to do this,
You ain't
man?
gotta set it off,
Yeah,
though?
anytime an MC steps in the mic, you gotta catch fresh, full of rap, or swaying King Tech. That I just set it off right there.
Yeah, that was it. Rappers on the microphone, they don't know how to spit. Cause when they hear this kid idea, they know he's the ish. Because I wipe them up like tissue, and if I dish you, don't make an ish. I squish fools who thinking that they rhyme is tight, but it's so pitiful. I rip a fool, and he ain't even trying to step. Cause every time I grab the mic, I get respect, cash my check, and break a neck of an MC that thinking that he is dope. I'm the reason that his girlfriend and family's like, nope, you ain't dope, you ain't even close. I leave MCs roasted, never boasted, don't approach this, it's so ferocious, you'll get boasted like the E's. MCs know the E to the Y to the E to the DEA flows with the breeze. No MC in the world is even stepping. I'm repping his all aggression on this mic, it's like progression. Every time I'm stepping in the session, MCs I'm wrecking, thinking that the testing on the mic, it's no tight detection. This mic I'm wrecking until it's straight just demolished. Smarter than your favorite professor inside of college. MCs mic demolish their own type of confidence. I'ma grab the microphone and make them sit on the bench, wishing they could play the sport. This is my court. Rappers get smoked like a Newport that gets no support from a kid like the E to the Y to the E. I spell it mad intelligent. MCs is just irrelevant. Fatter than an elephant wearing spandex. Take you and your man next. This land flex, this man wrecks. Any microphone that's up in my face, MCs don't know. We kicking it with Sway and Tech at the Wake Up Show. My freestyle, every time I kick it, it's sensational. I'ma break it till this microphone and this radio station's broke. Oh, MCs don't smoke. Provoke your own style because you're just a joke. MCs is just comedians flowing the wrong side of the median. I be beating them, feeding them. MCs ain't proceeding when it's time for me to feed they mind. Beat they rhymes until they got a bleeding spine. Ideas defined as the dopest rapper in the world. Go and ask your God and your favorite religion. When I blaze the issues, tripping like how is he doing it off the top? MCs don't know I'm rock. Every time I get my props, I used to carry nothing in my socks cause I've been broke until last year. That's when I stopped touring with Atmosphere because he wasn't paying me enough. Now it's E&A time. I'ma break rhymes. MCs know I just play mine. Erase rhymes that you wrote down. I leave you quote clown. You're a joke clown. Oh, now I'm the reason the system broke down. My position is flipping on the mic and I smoke clowns. Every single town I'm in is astounding. Men surrounding them till they collapse, killing they raps. They feeling the facts. I'm clowning men who think they down to pound. The town is like, oh my God, can I get down? But the problem is that rappers can't step because they not close. I'm the reason that I'm about to grab it from coast to coast, West Coast, East Coast. This is my favorite place to be. Straight up, my favorite rappers come from the West Coast because they all got style and they got mad rhythm. I give them a new organism. I'm flipping and spitting and ripping these cats. It's in this session when they raps, they not got enough aggression. MCs know who I be testing. I'm sitting here still in the show, feeling the flow, killing and drilling for real, just be making my dough. I'm all about the money, first about the rhyme skills. Mama name's Idea, E&A, and I'm real.
Can I cut you off?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just for a little minute.
Yep.
Hello, my name is Sluggo.
Yep.
I paid a little visit. Wait a sec, I'm down here at Sway and Tech Show. If you would have told me that back in the day, I'd have been like, hell no. But here I am, all the way from Minneapolis. I'm not a catalyst, I'm just an analyst, listening to all of the records as they come out every week. And I like it, I see it, yo, I try to freak that speak as well. Yo, I'm like a speaking spell. Push the buttons and all of a sudden I'll come through Russian. No, not Russian, more like American. Tearing it up every chance I can, cause all I wanna do is dance circles around your mind and let the rhymes climb up the spine and come out of my mouth just fine.
Because I rock, and I'm not hot, I'm kinda cold from Minnesota, you know.
It's how I rock. When I kick fat raps, I flip caps like flapjacks at a place called IHOP. These rappers wanna ride on my jock. They raps is cold, but I rhyme hot. They don't know how to hit them in the blind spot. I got some rhythm and they know they mind rocks.
But wait a minute, I heard what you said a minute ago.
What'd I say?
No way. When you was touring with me, you was way overpaid.
Yeah,
Gave
out.
you too much loot for what you did, but still you helped me distribute the record all across the land. So
Hey yo,
shoot.
it's all kid, it's all good, man. You know me. I got paid more than you when I was your road roadie. It's all gravy because I bought me a big studio with Pro Tools, and now I'm about to play some freestyling straight.
Yeah, I know you, and I know the school you come from. And all we wanna do is give the lyrics on the drums, and not be just another dum-dum coming through with that hum rush type of stuff that leaves them all crushed. Well, here we go, push the levels up a little bit. I'ma do my flow, then go outside and have a cigarette. Cause me, I'm just an addict, but still I'm cool coming from the atmos. Rhyming is just like practice.
I'm a mic addict. I can't let it go, cause my style is so impeccable. MCs can't see me with spectacles, they digestible. Riding on their testicles, idea flex, the flow's the best is professional, and that is me. I got a fat strategy to shatter these whack MCs. I rock the microphone in so many ways. MCs are gay, but that's not mean they're homosexual. No one can test the flow.
Of course, coming through with a lot of force, giving them everything they gotta do to make sure that they feel it and it's pure. If they stand strong, they might endure. As we give them everything, it's like a war.
You might see me on tour, but I'm not making enough paper. But if you come up to me after the show, I'll be like, yo, I'll see you later, cause I ain't trying to have you around. Not being an innovator, I generate a rhyme, penetrate your mind, and innovate some stuff that's fine.
On the real, I ain't giving you no paper, I'll give you a bus pass. I give you a razor so you can shave that mustache. I give you everything you need to get where the hell you gotta go. Go ahead and kick your little flow,
hey, yo, I know that the fact is my mustache is dirty, but I'm 20. But with this, the chicks think that I'm 30. So they're like, man, I like you. You wanna just dance, but MCs don't know they never could advance. I'm like an avalanche, the battle stands are shaking.
You look like a werewolf. But it's all good, we're taking care of everything we gotta take care of. Making sure they feel what we got to give them, that feeling, and make them all touch the ceiling.
That feeling inside of their mind, that feeling that makes them want to go after the radio show and write them some rhymes. Tight, I'm divine, shining MCs don't know how I be rhyming, breaking Hyman. I'm the one who always coming through and running crews. Out of their own city, they flow, can't get with me. Who is on the microphone? They just be kicking at 50 news. I be ripping crews because my style is not pitiful.
So tell them you heard them kids' idea and slugs. And tell them also we got a heck a whole lot of love. And we will give it all out to anybody that wants some. Cause all we want to do is give them what they need. Come. We can all reach the top or reach the heaven or wherever the heck you trying to go. Me, I'm 7 and I'm running with the flow. And I'll give you what you know. And if you didn't know, you better act like you should. Good, maybe I can climb inside your neighborhood. We can all have some fun, and if not, wish we would. I wish you were here with atmosphere. I wish you were tall with tattoos and had a 6-pack of beer. Hey, wait, it's a little early.
I got it noon, dog.
Give a shout out to my man Birdie. Noon, it's after 1. We're having a lot of fun. I think we need to go down to the show. It might be time to run.
Yeah, don't we got some popping at the Knitting Factory
today?
Yeah,
the Knitting Factory.
Yeah. Who's playing there tonight?
Early payday, fee-free overdrafts, no monthly fee. Chime, the #1 most loved banking app.
It is kind of a funny story. He lives in a 4x2 glass box. It reminds me of my head. I wish my floor would have rocks, but it's covered with puddles instead. If I could be him, life would be great. I could erase this permanent frown. I wouldn't even be held down by my own weight. I woke up, walked to the tank to hear his thoughts on yesterday. How was it, I asked, and after a tap on the glass, he looked my way, then gave me this depressed expression and pressed his best just to say, besides the tides and the gray skies, it was okay. And I said, hey, Mr. Fish, you get all that you wish. You got nothing to complain about while hanging out in this bit. And he replied, well, existence is bliss. There's so much that you miss. Besides, get off the trip. Happiness is just a myth. I said, living in water is extremely more peaceful than life. You find it with mind blinded by the evil and forced to see through these two peoples. It seems to redeem freedom not being limited by walls, but that only means I qualify as ground for the sky when it falls. That only means I qualify as ground for the sky when it falls. That only means I qualify as ground for the sky when it falls. That only means I qualify as ground for the sky when it falls. But Mr. Fish just laughed as I went on and on and on. So I interrupted his chuckle, putting up my middle finger, and he boldly told me it's too bad I'm such a thinker. So arrogantly I asked, how could someone think too much? He added that insanity lingers and thoughts brought me to the brink of such. He said you live inside a head that reminds me of my glass box, and everyone's the same. All brains are contained by a reality frame, and change with the rain it's trained not to change. And once you see what I've explained, you hit the jackpot. And at that very moment, it was like my eyes really opened. The air that previously surrounded me was now an ocean, still totally invisible except for minor pieces of debris. The Mr. Fish pushed up to the glass, and he looked just like like me. My whole world spun around. I didn't understand, but I realized I was no longer a man. So I thought about what he said and asked him what was going on. And he said, you didn't know it, but you were the fish all along. He said, congratulations, you did it, you broke free. You're just a fish, like the rest of humanity. Now it took me a long time to get adjusted to this tank, but now I know what I am. And so to that man I give thanks. I've always lived inside this glass box that reminds him of his head. It just goes to show you that your mind is your own monster. Reality's what you make it, and if you take it away, you're just a fish like me, swimming in the powdered water. Someone grew up in a cubicle, as Plato once suggested. They would only know the cubicle and not the world outside it. And they wouldn't view the cubicle as something geometric. We only know it's a cubicle because we live outside. Now the one inside the cubicle can't comprehend its measurements, because measurements are models made up for and by observers relative to their position on the outside of the cubicle. They'll understand objectively so they can study further. If I grew up in a cubicle, the walls limit my universe. I have no knowledge of the entirety like the outsiders do. If you follow what I say and can swallow the close your eyes and open your mind, this one's for you. The brain equals a cubicle, will never think outside it. I decide and why to try to tie a diagram and modify it. I'm a man that's a hybrid of a body, a pirate of a soul that can fly without control. Realize the brain takes in 6 billion signals per second, most of which are hidden and not given to the senses. We're limited to a few futile primitive tools of perception, living in a universal pool of first-hand deception. The mind's job is to receive the signals and block out the ones that don't coincide with imprinted symbols. That way the information you obtain is recognized. Reality is thinkable, incomparable to space and time. It makes a map of the territory that gives us the topic of the Copenhagen interpretation of modern quantum physics mistakes. We don't know the meal, we only know the menu that our brain tells us is real. We don't know the rules of our heads. From inside these cubicles we can't see the truth. No one really knows exactly what happens when we think. Therefore we can never really ever know anything.
This is the consciousness revolution. You got the right to think, don't think about it, just do it. This is the consciousness revolution. You got the right to think, don't think about it, just do it. This is the consciousness revolution. You got the right to think, don't think about it, just do it. This is the consciousness revolution. You got the right to think, don't think about it, just do it. This is the consciousness revolution. You got the right to think, don't think about it, just do it. This is the consciousness revolution. You got the right to think, don't think about it, just do it.